Oh, good morning, Spruce Society. Melissa asked me to come in here and talk about recovery and how essential oils help me in my recovery process. Now, this isn't the most comfortable subject to talk about, but I know millions of people suffer from some sort of addiction. I've been using essential oils in my recovery for over 9 years now. I was persuaded by my family to get some help for my problem back in May of 2013. Then in June of 2013, I was introduced to Young Living essential oils. I'm pretty sure it was a God shot because I tried many times to get sober on my own, but this time, so far, it's stuck. I know our mind's a pretty powerful thing, and it can lead us to great things or it can take us to deep, dark places. And we can become addicted to just about anything. Alcohol, drugs, sex, gambling, food, caffeine, tobacco, bad relationships, codependency. The list just goes on and on. But left untreated, this disease can kill many of us. I'm very grateful to the two men that realized that this is a disease back in 1935. Back then, people were just put into institutions and left to die. This is a threefold disease. It affects us physically, mentally, and spiritually. It's an allergy of the body, an obsession of the mind that leads to a spiritual malady. Once my addiction had taken over, I felt like really there was no way out. That I was just born this way. But there is help for those of us that suffer. Let's see. A lot of people have emotional disorders, and I really do encourage them to get the help that they need. Maybe you live with someone or have lived with someone that's suffering from the disease of addiction, and you may need as much help as that person does, and that's a decision that you need to make for yourself. Many times, for me anyway, there's 12-step programs. And there's many 12-step programs out there as there are addictions. Let me turn this down. Like I mentioned earlier, our mind is very powerful, and our limbic system controls our emotions and our memory. If you haven't already, I suggest you do some research on this part of the brain. It's pretty fascinating. So aromatherapy, by adding aromatherapy into my life, it helped either stimulate or calm that part of my brain that gave me the open-mindedness and willingness to get the help that I needed. I chose to go to a 12-step program, and I'm going to tell you how Young Living essential oils help me for each step. There's 12 steps, obviously, because it's a 12-step program. So the first step is we admitted we were powerless over, you fill in whatever your addiction is. I'm going to use alcohol. I admitted I was powerless over alcohol, that my life had become unmanageable. And this takes acceptance. So the oil that I used is acceptance. This oil helped me open up to the possibility that there was a solution to my problem. I use this on my liver, my neck, my wrist, pretty much everywhere. I needed to regain some self-worth and be open to the changes I was making in my life. Another one I used daily was Peace and Calming to help with sleep issues. I still use this one almost nightly to help me with sleep. Sleep problems are a big deal for a lot of people, but someone that's quitting alcohol or drugs, this can be huge. So the second step is that I came to believe that a power greater than myself could restore me to sanity. The insanity of this disease is thinking that I can keep drinking expecting different results the next time. When addiction takes over, there isn't any control. It's very powerful. It's a very powerful disease, and this disease makes you think that you really don't have a problem. This step is about faith and hope, and the oil I use is hope. Most people in the throes of addiction don't believe there's a higher power, creative intelligence, or a God, whatever you want to call this. And like I said, this is this disease affects us threefold. I thought, if there was a power greater than me, how could it allow me to get to this point? But there's help. As time went on, I realized that that I actually did this to myself. This wasn't an overnight process, and I'm going to probably say that a lot because instant gratification is what a lot of people want. But it's not an overnight process. It's threefold. I became physically addicted, then it became a mental obsession, and then I totally let any kind of higher power out of my life and I let myself become my own higher power. But I started using hope on the crown chakra, and it helped me reconnect with my spirituality. The third step is that we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. This is about surrender and trust, and the oil I use is surrender. I wasn't sure about this step in my recovery. Like I said, I thought I was the one in control. I wasn't raised in a religious home, but this is about a God or a higher power, if that offends you, that you can do business with. A lot of people, at first I used the groups as my higher power because something was keeping me sober. And a lot of people use nature, the ocean. You just need to use whatever works for you. All I needed to know was that I am not in charge. I needed to surrender to myself that point, and this blend really helps calm my inner strength, my emotions, anxiety, stress. I use this on my forehead, my neck, my chest, my solar plexus. This is a really great oil. The fourth step is that we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. And now this step is about honesty. This one's a tough one for a lot of people in recovery. I know I wanted to point the finger at everyone and anything but me, and all the reasons I drank the way I did. You drink too if you went through all that I had. But every time I was pointing that finger, there was three pointing back at me. And it's hard to accept that I was the one who did this to myself. This oil helps. The oil that I use here is Release. When I wrote down all the things and all the resentments that I had to look at myself and see my part in everything. Release, I put this on my liver. I used it every single day. I slathered myself in this. I used it as a perfume. I just love this oil. I love the way it smells. I love the way it makes me feel. I needed to let go of anger and resentments in order to be honest enough to take my own inventory, and this oil was my savior in that. Another great one to use is Juvaflex. And really, any of our Juva products are great because they help cleanse and detoxify the liver and the lymph systems. So the fifth step is that we admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. This step takes courage, and the oil I use is Valor. Valor, oh, I love Valor. But see, on this step, now I had to tell someone all my dirty little secrets that I thought I was going to take to the grave. That takes courage. And I needed confidence that they wouldn't be telling everyone else because, I'm so important, This was a huge part in my recovery, and that actually gave me a lot of freedom. Allowed me to know that I wasn't alone. Some things that I thought were so horrible weren't as big when I shared them with someone else. I pretty much slathered Valor all over my body, and I know most of us love this blend, and the benefits of this are crazy good. Fear, confidence, peace, relaxation. We've all experienced what Valor can do for us, and I will never be without Valor. The sixth step is that we were entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. And this step is about willingness. The oil I use is Rise Above. After doing the work on the fourth and the fifth steps, I got to recognize the negative behaviors and the patterns that I did that kept me in a destructive lifestyle. This oil helps me transform my old thoughts that held me back into more positive ones that help me reach my potential. I put this on my heart and my feet and in the diffuser. This is not my favorite smelling oil, but it works. So the seventh step is we humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. So this step's about humility. And the oil, of course, I use this humility. This one allows me to have a closer relationship with the God of my understanding, so that he can remove the character defects that stand in the way of my usefulness to him and to others that I come into contact with. This one really lets the healing start to begin. I put this on my neck, my heart, my temples, my wrists, anywhere I can smell this. This is a really lovely oil. So then the ninth step is that we be made direct. Wait. Yeah. No, wait. I forgot one. Number 8. Number 8 is made a list of all persons that we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. So this step's about forgiveness, and the oil I use is forgiveness. As I mentioned earlier, I thought people had harmed me, but after taking a closer look at myself, realizing that I was only remembering the part where someone may have hurt me. There was probably a good reason that they did. I may have caused them to retaliate in some way because of my actions. So I needed to become willing to take a good look at all of this and actually forgive myself. I was told the best way to use forgiveness is to rub it clockwise around your belly button. So I did. I also wear this as a perfume. Forgiveness is really one of the biggest keys in recovery. The ninth step is that we made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. So this step's about freedom, and the oil I use is freedom. When I made amends to the people I'd harmed, it gave me emotional freedom. It wasn't easy, but I did that. I needed to move on with my life. And this oil helped me remove emotional baggage that I was carrying around so I could get out of my own way and start living up to my potential. I apply Freedom to my feet, or put it in my diffuser. The feet's a great place to put most of your oils. Then step 10. We continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. This step's about perseverance, and the oil I use is Present Time. This step helps me stay in the now, and it also helps me continue to grow. When I look at my life on a daily basis, it helps me right any wrongs that I may be doing today, and I need to watch to see if I'm being selfish or dishonest or fearful or resentful. If I am, I can ask God to help remove these character defects right away. This really is a lifelong process. Like I said, it doesn't happen overnight. When I do this, I can be a better service to those around me. Present Time helps me stay in the now, not in the past, not in tomorrow. I apply this on my neck and my forehead, anywhere else. And just smell it. It's so good. The step 11 is we sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understand Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. So this step is about patience, and the oil I use is Believe. This is where I get to start practicing self-discipline in my life and keep asking for guidance. Helps me stay connected to my higher power and ask Him to direct my thinking throughout the day. I say this is about patience because, selfishness, self-pity, dishonesty, self-seeking motives, those were all pretty normal behaviors for me when I was an active addiction. And this one helps me keep my higher power in charge and not me. So I like to put this in my diffuser in the morning or at night when I'm doing prayers and meditations. This one helps, Believe helps me with inner strength. And it gives me faith that I have something out there, higher power, that's got my back and only my best interest at heart. It helps me actually have a life worth living today. Am I perfect at doing this? No. But my life is much better when I do. So step 12 is having had a spiritual awakening as the result of all the steps. I tried to carry this message to whatever your addiction is. I'm going to say alcoholics. And to practice these principles in all our affairs. So this step's about service, charity, and love. And the oil I use is Transformation. This oil takes me out of dark places in my mind and helps me stay into the light. It helps me achieve self-awareness and be the person that I really strive to be. I want to have love and compassion and forgiveness and kindness in my heart and be able to serve others and help them be the best they can be. Like I said, I'm not perfect at this, but I practice it on a daily basis. What Gary Young says about transformation is, transformation is a wonderful oil blend for your home diffuser to set up the frequency where you want to be with your health, with your belief system, your attitude, or your financial condition. Maybe you're writing about your marital status or personal feelings. Just write down where you are now, where you want to be, and what you would like to become through this transformational year. You still have most of the year ahead, so start now. Well, I find transformation works for me every day of the year, and I want to be my best every single day. Everyone's different. So if you don't get the results that you're that you're looking for are the same ones that I did, just try a different oil. These oils are amazing and can help you if you let them. So my hope is that I could help at least one person here today. I'm going to see here if there's any questions that I may have missed. I don't see any questions, so I will check later, and I hope someone got something out of this. Thanks for letting me share, and I hope that y'all have a great day.